Today's topic I want to talk about is combating some negative thoughts you may have when being a photographer. Now, being a photographer in today's day and age is both easier than ever and harder than ever before. The barrier to entry is so low that literally anyone can make an Instagram, anyone can make a TikTok, and start uploading content almost immediately. All you need is an internet connection and some pictures and you're good to go. This low barrier to entry does make whatever platform you end up choosing to post on flooded with a bunch of people all trying to do the exact same thing as you are. According to backlinko.com, Instagram has 500 million active users every single day. You can look at that as really good, as a huge potential audience, but you can also look at it as a staggering number of people that you now have to stand out against. My art, my medium is photography, and given the fact that everyone and their brother with an iPhone in the Walmart parking lot taking a picture of the sunset considers themselves a photographer, how exactly do you stand out from the rest of those types of photographers? Today we're going to talk about what separates the Walmart sunset photographer from an artist and how Dunning-Kruger has impacted my life. Editing this video was actually really interesting because I had to edit out at least 3 times of me saying, I don't think this is going very well. It kind of got me thinking about imposter syndrome, got me thinking of self-sabotaging and how we can be our own worst enemy when it comes to our creative endeavors. Part of street photography that is so cool and simultaneously so frustrating is that you can go out and through no fault of your own, not really have any good images to show for it. I've had sessions where I'm in a great mood and I get incredible photos back after printing. And I've also had sessions where I'm in a bad mood and my feet are hurting, my camera doesn't seem to be working properly, I can't find good light, I can't find any people in the city, and it's just a bad time for everybody. Every time when I'm having one of those bad sessions, I'm thinking, this is a waste of time, it's a waste of money, it's a waste of film, it's a waste of printing, it's a waste of processing, it's a waste of gas just driving around. It's a waste. The why try anyway type of mindset is super easy to fall into, especially when there are so many Instagram accounts literally trying to do the exact same thing you are. You automatically think, why am I any different? Why am I so special that's going to make somebody take an extra 2 seconds to look at my images when everybody else is trying to do the exact same thing? Let's just go ahead and give up now because there's not really any chance that anyone's going to see these or even like them. If you are a fellow creative, probably have really great experience tearing your own self down. It's super easy to get caught up in the Instagram likes, in the TikTok views, in the promotion, in the growing of your account. But one thing I've really started to focus on is, why am I actually doing this? Why am I putting all this effort in? Why am I making YouTube videos? Why am I posting many times a day? Why am I actually doing this? Those types of negative thoughts really crop up in my mind every once in a while, and honestly, it's cannibalized a lot of my hobbies in the past. And it's not for those Instagram likes, it's not for the views, it's to put my own voice out there, my own view of the world out there, and share my work. And I kind of have to keep that in mind. That being said, in creative work, I think a lot of the times we are our own worst critics. So it's important to have a positive mindset towards yourself, and it can really impact your work as well. Another thing I like to remember is that my work is actually kind of good. Now, I may get crucified for saying this in the YouTube community or amongst other artists, but sometimes we are our own worst critic, and it's nice to kind of step back and realize that our work isn't half bad. Ideally, you would go out less often with those bad thoughts and hopefully get bad shots less often as well. I've been listening to Chris Doe's podcast a lot. He is a graphic designer out in LA. And he brought up this notion of done is better than perfect. And I've really been trying to live my life by that. If you wait until something is perfect, you're basically never even gonna start. About 2 months ago, I started posting my photos on Instagram every day, multiple times a day, and it was a little scary at first. It almost seemed like an insurmountable task before I started to even think about posting every day, let alone multiple times a day. Once I got started, it didn't seem so bad after all. Once you get in the flow of things, once you get used to it, it's kind of easy to work into your everyday schedule. But that initial effort, that very first thing that you have to do, the starting, really is the hardest part. And a lot of people don't want to hear that advice, but I can honestly say that's been the hardest part of this entire thing was just starting. But when I get caught up in the gear, when I get caught up in the ideas, when I get caught up in the fact that something just isn't going to be perfect, I remember that done is better than perfect, and that usually gets me going. I'm able to get started on these projects, and I'm able to make something and make progress instead of just freeze and not do anything. Sometimes it's better to just put stuff out there, and keep putting stuff out there until it's really good. Sometimes my lines may not be perfectly straight, the edit may not be perfectly colored, the post on Instagram may not be perfectly aligned, and that's okay. If it was perfect, then it wouldn't be me, because I'm not perfect. This pursuit of perfection really is impossible, and it also makes for a really easy excuse to why you haven't started yet. Like, well, I don't have the right camera, or well, I don't have the right audio equipment, or well, the idea is just not perfect in my head yet. Those really come down to just being excuses and reasons that you haven't started. But if you get over that constant drive of perfection, then you're kind of able to get the ball rolling and use that momentum on and on and on. When I first started posting regularly on Instagram almost 2 months ago, I was getting a few likes on every single post. And I want to preface this by saying that, as I said before, it's not about Instagram likes, but this is a good way to measure your progress. When I first started posting regularly, I was getting a few likes, maybe maximum 8 likes on every single post. I've been doing it regularly for almost 2 months. I'm only now just seeing average interaction. The average likes are going up on every single post, which is a good sign of progress. If I would have waited, I wouldn't have made that progress from 2 months ago that I've already made now. Now, I'm not saying 15 to 20 likes on every post is the best thing in the world, and I'm also not saying that I have 1 million followers, but again, that's not really the goal. The goal is the progress that I've been making, and that's really exciting. I think we're so hardwired for immediate perfection that if something takes time to perfect or takes time to improve, at least for myself, I can say that I want to give up almost immediately. And it felt really ostracizing to know that anything I started, I was probably just going to give up on anyway until I heard of the Dunning-Kruger Effect. The Dunning-Kruger Effect is an idea in psychology where people with low ability at a task overestimate their ability at that task. Now, honoring the source, I did see this recently from the Eye of Photography channel. Really deep thinker, an older guy with a lot of experience in the field, and it's really obvious that he knows what he's talking about. So he was able to introduce me to this concept that actually made me feel a lot better about myself. If you take a look at the graph, you will find me top Mount Stupid on every previous adventure that I've gone on. So literally every hobby and adventure I put myself into, I would have great success right at the beginning, and confidence would be building, and I would be so happy. But as soon as I had to start putting in the work, as soon as I had to start putting in practice and started to slide down the quote-unquote valley of despair, I would give up. And that's where all of my hobbies, all of my interests kind of died before they've even really got off the ground. Everything that I've tried to get into and given up on fits this trajectory perfectly. And once it came down to putting in the work and practicing and doing the not so fun stuff where you're just making little increments of progress at a time, once it came down to that, it would get a lot less fun and I would just give up. Giving up was easy and it felt good. It felt better than the slight discomfort from realizing that I wasn't just naturally gifted at something. I feel like I can finally say that I'm starting to make my way up the slope of enlightenment if we're sticking to the graph example. I want to tie that back into what I said at the beginning about me going out and being frustrated that I didn't think it was going very well. I'd probably gone through about 10 rolls of film at that point, and I was cresting the peak of Mount Stupid and starting to slowly slide into the valley of despair, as it's called. And it was frustrating. It was very frustrating, and it was just so ironic to go back and edit this video and actually see and hear myself be frustrated because I didn't think it was going that well. And then in the end, when I got the photos back, I actually really liked them. That is what the journey of artistry is all about. It's a never-ending process up the slope of enlightenment to this non-existent level of guru that's at the very top. There's no end goal in photography. I may have personal end goals of mine, like getting work in a gallery or selling prints or something like that, but there's no end goal of mastery as there may be in other areas of your life. The goal isn't to have 1 million followers on Instagram. I could care less how many followers I had on Instagram, but I wanted to share that just putting in some work will allow you to see the little bit of progress you make in a really a short amount of time, 2 months. It's not that long, but when you're in it and when you're doing it, it feels like ages because it feels like you're just spinning your wheels, not making any progress whatsoever. But that is what being an artist is all about, is finding your way, and my end goal of putting my voice out there and my view of the world is really why I'm doing this. Not for likes and followers on Instagram. Special thank you to Aya Photography. His channel is excellent. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. And that's going to do it for this one. So thank you for watching this video. If you made it this far, let me know down below in the comments. Drop a like, make sure to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.